In 1901, Greek sponge divers pulled a corroded lump of bronze from a Roman shipwreck. For decades, nobody knew what it was. The accepted story is simple. Ancient Romans were practical engineers. They built aqueducts, roads, concrete structures that still stand. They did not build computers. The Antikythera Mechanism, that corroded lump, was a curiosity, a novelty, a rare example of mechanical ingenuity, yes, but an outlier. Historians were comfortable with this explanation. It required no revision of what we thought we knew about the ancient world. The mechanism was found off the island of Antikythera in 1901. A merchant vessel carrying Greek and Roman statuary had sunk around 100 BCE. Divers recovered it in pieces. The bronze was fractured, encrusted with sediment and corrosion. No one immediately grasped what they were holding. Early archaeologists catalogued it as an astrolabe or a clock, or perhaps a navigational device. The fragments were too damaged to read. X-rays wouldn't be refined enough to penetrate the corrosion for nearly a century, so the mechanism sat in a museum drawer in Athens, unstudied, assumed to be a minor artifact. In 1951, a physicist named Derek de Sala Price examined it. He noticed something. The fragments contained gears, dozens of them, interlocking, precisely cut gears. The sophistication required to manufacture these was extraordinary for the ancient world. Price became obsessed. By the 1970s, Price had reconstructed enough to publish a radical claim. This wasn't a toy, it wasn't decorative. The Antikythera Mechanism was an orrery, a device that predicted the positions of celestial bodies. It could calculate the cycles of the moon, the dates of eclipses. It was, in essence, an ancient astronomical computer. The problem was credibility. No other device like it had been found. No ancient text described its construction. No evidence suggested the Greeks or Romans possessed this level of mechanical engineering. Scholars were skeptical. Price's theory was treated as brilliant speculation, not established fact. The accepted narrative held. The mechanism was unusual, yes, impressive perhaps, but ultimately isolated, a one-off creation, maybe built by a single brilliant craftsman whose techniques died with him. This explanation was comfortable. It didn't demand we rewrite ancient history. Then in 2005, a British research team used advanced tomography, 3D X-ray imaging, to see inside the corroded bronze. What they found dismantled the comfortable story. The mechanism contained at least 30 gears. Some were engraved with text, Greek text, identifying the months, identifying zodiac signs. The inscriptions were instructions, how to use the device, how to read its outputs. This wasn't a theoretical reconstruction anymore. This was evidence, physical, textual evidence that someone in the ancient world understood mechanical computation, understood it well enough to document it. By 2008, researchers had mapped the entire mechanism. It contained a differential gear system, a technology that wouldn't appear in European mechanical clocks until the 14th century. More than 200 years later, the Antikythera Mechanism was functionally more sophisticated than anything produced in medieval Europe. The real explanation emerged slowly from the data. This wasn't a one-off. It couldn't be. The precision required, the mathematical knowledge, the manufacturing techniques, the metallurgical skill, all of this implied a tradition, a school of craftsmen, possibly multiple devices, possibly a lost technology. Historians now suspect it was built somewhere in the Hellenistic world, perhaps Rhodes, perhaps Alexandria, somewhere with access to advanced mathematics, skilled metalworkers, and the patronage to fund such an elaborate project, somewhere around the 2nd century BCE. The mechanism was likely used by astronomers or wealthy patrons to predict celestial events. Eclipses were religiously and politically significant. A device that could forecast them granted enormous power. It was knowledge, it was technology, and it was lost. The ship carrying this mechanism sank. It was never recovered by its owners. The knowledge to build it apparently died with its makers. No other examples have surfaced despite centuries of archaeology. No ancient text explicitly describes its construction or purpose. This is the unsettling part. The ancient world possessed technological capability we didn't know about, and then, for reasons we still don't fully understand, that capability vanished. The knowledge wasn't passed on. The tradition wasn't maintained. Between the 2nd century BCE and the Renaissance, nobody in the Mediterranean world built anything like it. The Antikythera Mechanism forces a reckoning. It proves the ancients weren't static, weren't simple. They experimented, they innovated, they built things we're still struggling to fully understand, and most of it is gone. Most of it is lost to time, to shipwrecks, to the collapse of the societies that created it. Today, the Antikythera Mechanism sits in the Athens National Archaeological Museum. It's no longer a curiosity. It's a monument to lost knowledge, to technologies that existed, that worked, that were then forgotten. Every scratch on its bronze surface is a question we may never fully answer. Subscribe to get alerts on the next historical mystery, the ones that rewrote what we thought we knew.